What's up, YouTube? Brett Hoover from Rants here. Alright, so Ghostbusters Afterlife is an absolute and total success. This is something that might not shock a lot of fans. We were all, seemed like everyone wanted this movie to succeed, except critics and the cast of the 2016 version of Ghostbusters, the all-female cast, who are really, after all these years, they, I guess, enjoyed all the hate they got because they call everybody sexist pigs. But at the end of the day, we don't even want to hate on them anymore. We just want to forget them. And that is the one thing that they cannot stand, that they are going to be forgotten in a lot of ways. Critics don't like that. They're still mad at fans for not accepting that version. And of course, they're going to hate on this film as much as they possibly can. But it didn't stop fans from coming out. Fans overwhelmingly love this movie. Even, you just look at the Rotten Tomato score of it. You've got 62%, critic score, and then you've got 96% fan score. That tells you a lot about where this movie is. This movie is a hit. And it should have been. You know what? I made my review here on Rants about this film, and I stand by it. I felt like this was a mediocre film in a lot of ways, but it really, really had a beautiful ending. Perfect ending in a lot of ways. I still feel like this movie should be treated as a standalone and not a Ghostbusters 3, but I know a lot of fans disagree with me on that one. They think that this is a perfect ending. They did great by Harold Ramis, Egon, who unfortunately passed away before this movie began. So, they did a great tribute to him. Great bringing in the older characters and giving them, really showing the respect that they needed. Something that Star Wars unfortunately did not do for their original cast. So that's to be said. There's something to be said about that. It was great that they did what they did for it. I just feel like a lot of fans were so enamored by the ending that they completely and totally forgot everything before it. And let's face it, in that middle, there is a big draw. Like, it is like very slow. It takes the kids too long to be able to find stuff. Really get this movie going. There really isn't a lot to do. Really isn't a lot of ghost busting in a Ghostbusters film in a lot of ways. So I felt like that was my take on it. I thought it was a mediocre film until the very end, which was a perfect ending on that film. So it changes my mind on it. Overall, I think it's a great Ghostbusters film in that regard, in that it stuck the ending, which is something a lot of films do not do. It at least did that for me, but I still hold true to saying overall it was mediocre, just with a great ending. But anyways, let's go ahead and stop talking about what I thought of it and talk about exactly what it's done with the box office. It says Ghostbusters Afterlife, a sequel to the 1980s sci-fi comedy classic, opened at #1 in North America, collecting a solid $44 million from 4,315 venues. The better-than-expected results is an encouraging sign that family audiences are willing to visit their local multiplex, provided there's something broadly entertaining to be found there. And that's all it is. There has been movies that we've looked at that normally would be a success, like Marvel films, and looked at them from a perspective different than what we did before. We looked at it as an individual movie and not as the MCU as a whole. And it's made people say, you know what? They might have great opening weekends, but we're not going to go by word of mouth go and promote these movies. Ghostbusters Afterlife has been promoted by people after they've watched it. That is what is going to make Ghostbusters Afterlife a success, where even some of these Marvel films really floundered and saw a real steep decline after their opening, box office success. And rightfully so, because a lot of them weren't good movies. This was a movie that, hey, you know what? I recommend it to other Ghostbusters fans. It's a good watch. Really is a good watch. Even if you're new to the Ghostbusters franchise. But anyways, let's get on to it. It says internationally, Ghostbusters Afterlife earned 16 million from 31 overseas markets, pushing its worldwide total to 60 million. And it goes on to talk about Jason Reitman. Of course, his father is the one that basically, started the franchise, was the original director of it. It says, I do want to put this in here. It says it should be noted that Sony's 2016 all-female reboot of Ghostbusters premiered at 46 million, only 2 million more than Afterlife. However, that film cost 144 million compared to 75 million price tag for Afterlife, making it a box office dud. That movie was terrible. I don't care what they say about it. Ghostbusters Afterlife is, at least at its best, it is a great homage to the original actors, to the original characters that we loved. It stayed true to the Ghostbusters lore. It also had a perfect ending to it. Something that the all-female Ghostbusters did not have. The all-female Ghostbusters had a poor cast. The jokes were just blatantly stupid. The characters we didn't feel anything for. It just was terrible all the way around, from beginning to end. So critics can make all the comparisons they want to about this film, but I feel like they're just still butthurt because fans don't even want to mock the 2016 version of Ghostbusters. They don't even want to hate on it anymore. They want to forget it. And that's one thing that this woke mob that's on Twitter absolutely hates. And that's not to even get vitriol from fans, because that way they can't say, well, you hate it because you're a misogynist or you hate females or whatever. They can't even say that anymore because people don't even want to talk about it. That's one thing that Twitter fans cannot stand, is to not be, it's not hate on something and to not bring hate upon others, which is something that's going to absolutely kill them when it comes to this movie, because everyone wants to forget that version and go to this version. And whether or not you think that this is a suitable third movie for this franchise, that's up to you. I personally still feel like it's a great standalone. I don't feel like it really should be considered a third version or a great third version to this franchise. That being said, I think it's a decent movie. I think you should go out there and see it if you haven't already. It's definitely worth your time. Definitely, it does kind of go to a crawl, kind of in the middle. But overall, I feel like the third act to it is worth the wait. Really do. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Have you gone and seen it? Have you not gone and seen it? What did you think about it? Does it work as a great third film, or should it be considered a standalone? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and y'all take care.